Hello and welcome to another edition of Cool Discussions. It's Chris, I'm Barry. We're back, and today we're going to talk about a little something going on here in the Calgary, Alberta with our mayor. It happened a little bit ago. He got into some legal trouble with one of the city builders, I believe it was. And he had to go to court and he had to fight a battle with them and stuff like that. I don't know what happened, I don't really care, whatever. But my thing is, recently he just said that he used city funds and taxpayer funds to pay his legal bills, which were upwards $300,000.
$300,000. Yeah.
And now, just recently, our city council, the wonderful people that we've elected, have voted on whether that he can crowdfund to pay the money back to the city.
Oh, did they actually put that to a vote?
I believe they did.
I thought
and they said it was
an
okay.
ethics commission thing.
I'm not 100% sure because the government, they're not very transparent.
This whole thing sucks. It's what it was is like Nenshi, during an election cycle, these group of builders got together and said, and it was captured on a secret camera, said that we should support those who have interests similar to ours, right? And Nenshi took that and said, oh, they're forming a group to get rid of the council. They're trying to buy the council. They're trying to set it up so big business wins all the time. And the guy who was speaking in the video sued Nenshi for slander because Nenshi didn't put it politely. So that's where the whole court thing comes from.
Right, okay.
And they ended up settling out of court. And
of course they did.
Because they settled out of court, there was a non-disclosure, so nobody knows anything about what actually
Don't
happened.
be surprised if it's taxpayer money that used to pay the guy.
I
wouldn't be surprised.
It shouldn't be. There is absolutely nothing wrong with groups of people getting together and going, we should support people who are like-minded.
As long as you're not.
That's why
trying.
you have PCs, conservatives, NDP, Liberal, Wild Rose, Green Party.
Me. Over here about myself.
Libertarians.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with people gathering together. Obviously, we've talked about it in previous shows. I don't. My issue with this whole thing is that he used the tax money first.
Yeah, no.
And now is like, oh, I'm going to crowdfund to get it back. It's like, well, you should have crowdfunded first.
It should have been like this. It's like he got sued as for slander, which
as a person,
right off the bat, it should have been decided whether or not he was acting as a mayor or acting as an idiot.
Yeah.
And if he was acting as an idiot, the city has nothing to do with him. He's out on his own, and he has to deal with it like a normal person being sued.
Yeah, but we know Nenshi's a little bit of a kind of a hothead, kind of about does not keep his trap shut with the video about Uber when he got into Uber and he was talking about the guy in Uber, and it's like, wow. So there's two incidences of him being caught on video, which you
no. Okay, Nenshi is definitely a well-spoken person. He does speak his mind in a lot of regards, which I think kind of makes him popular. It's not as outrageous as a person like Trump.
He does speak his mind, but I don't think he has an open mind. I don't think he has the ability to. I think it's like, this is the way that I think. This is the way that I'm going to think. I think he's very just. This is bam. Like, for example, he says about the Uber and the whole builders thing. They're trying to do this, and it's like, well, maybe you should get the whole story before you throw out allegations. Maybe you should, and even with the arena.
Well, no, but here's the thing with the builders group saying, oh, we should align with people that are think similar. There was nothing wrong. There was. You watch the video, and it's not like they're making a secret organization to control
overthrow the government.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? We should put our money where our mouths is and support council members that believe as we think. And it's like, well, that's what you're supposed to do.
There's a fine line between just using your right to assemble and bribery, corruption. And it's how money passes hands, really.
No, that's true, but there was no discussion about anything illegal.
Yeah,
the guy was saying fund campaigns of council people
that support us, that benefit us.
Yeah, that benefits us, and that's what they're allowed. There are maximum limits in place. there are
For
certain
reasons, yeah.
Yeah, for reasons like that, so a company couldn't put in more. If a person wants to put in more, that's totally their right, as long as they're not doing it fraudulently. Because in one of the provincial elections, it was found that the guy who built the Edmonton Arena,
Daryl Gates.
he gave money to people so they could donate to the PC Party of Alberta. And that money wasn't counted as income on a person's tax slip. So that's how they found it. It was like, whoa, you donated $10,000, but you only made $45,000.
Yeah.
Really?
How did you do that?
Yeah, no kidding. And then they found out the guy just wrote a check on their behalf, and lo and behold, fraudulent donations.
Well, what happened with it? The arena got built.
The arena did get built, so
corruption works in our democratic society.
Yeah. Very true.
But that's just my big issue about it. Is just that you take the money out first to pay your bills, and then you go, oh, I want to crowdfund this, and it's like, what? You want us to pay our own money that you've already taken from us back?
Well, and that's the thing is, okay, fine. People are allowed to crowdfund. If crowdfunding is available for anyone, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So if I wanted to
GoFundMe.com?
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
Something like that. I think, just if you Google GoFundMe and pop up a page, you can do it. There's probably tons of causes out there that...
Yeah, and probably a lot
Probably 85% of them are fraudulent.
It might be a little high, but who knows?
Yeah.
We have... Nobody ever reports on anything like that, so I haven't heard anything big about it.
But there are, like, the bigger ones get exposed in the media and stuff like that.
Oh, true.
Like, people have taken advantage of the fires in Fort McMurray. They've tried to do that. But, that's my biggest problem is that politicians shouldn't be able to use tax money for their own personal things.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean? They get enough benefits. They already get a portion of their salary tax-free.
They get an incredibly high salary. Like,
incredibly high.
Nenshi makes...
A couple $100,000, I think, or something like that. I know he makes a lot.
At least $150,000. At least $150,000.
And a portion of that is tax-free.
Yeah, tax-free. He gets RSPs.
Plus, you probably get a pension when you leave.
And a pension, yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's a whole different show in itself.
But one thing that did come of this was, this whole, the mayor being sued and everything, an ethics committee was voted upon to be made for the council to be able to go to and go, are we doing this ethically? Did we do this right?
What a joke.
Oh, well...
We gotta create a committee. We gotta spend more money on people to tell us if we're being adult enough with our decisions. Are you guys not adults yourselves to go, hey, let's use some common sense. Do you think taking $300,000 out of our already strained tax system is the right thing to do to pay for some legal bills for our mayor? That's
not in that situation, but like for if the mayor was doing something, if the mayor was being sued for slander and he didn't actually say anything, I get it. But in this case, he was sued legitimately for being a pompous ass.
It's all legitimate though, like until you get proven otherwise in a court, right? That's our justice system.
Well, even then in court, it comes down to out-of-court settlements, and then you do non-disclosures, so nobody actually knows what the agreements were. All we know is that Mayor Nenshi had to apologize, and we know how politicians apologize. We've seen a lot of that with Trudeau.
Nothing says guilty like out-of-court
settlements
with non-disclosures. Thumbs up, Mayor. Good job.
Our Lord in purple, may he reign forever.
Man, that's why I wanted to just touch base on it a little bit. I just think you don't need to create new committees and new boards and new this. Like just pull your head out of your ass a little bit.
Well, that's one thing I found is that people were always making all these new laws and rules and guidelines, and it's just like we have reason. It's all of them in place. We just need enforcement.
There's this thing out there that gets thrown around so much, and it's called common sense. Okay, we need to change that. Hashtag uncommon sense. because that's the whole world. That's all we have is uncommon sense. We don't think logically as a society. We don't think logically as humans. I'm guilty of it too. In some situations, being unlogical. Unlogical is that even a word? How do you know that's even a word?
There you go. There's a
illogical. You know, and it's like especially in this example, like to sit there and just have to spend more money on other people. Like they probably made a committee and they're just paying themselves more money because they sit on the committee, and it's like, well, so you have one meeting and you get an extra whatever amount of money, and it's like,
oh, there was a great example of that in the PC government before the NDP. There was a committee that was there was a formed committee, and out of the whole year they met once, and they were each paid an additional $15,000.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
And yeah, it's one of those things of the more committees you sit on, the more money you make, because you actually make.
It's fraud.
Money.
To me, it's fraud. It's like a business does it all the time. They what do? They open other companies under the umbrella. Under the umbrella of the big company. They open little companies for tax breaks, for tax purposes, to move money around, so it looks like they're making less money. And to me, especially if the government's doing it, it's fraud on our money. You know what I mean? And to me, it's like you're taking my money in a fraudulent way. If you're sitting on 5 committees and you're getting paid,
and that's one thing I've never really understood. It's like when you're elected, being a part of a committee is part of your job.
You should get one salary. That's it. That's what you get paid.
Yeah,
like it's like at your work. If you're like, oh, you're part of the safety committee at your job,
you don't make extra
money,
or at least. I've never worked at a place where if I'm on a committee or on or part of anything extra, I make more money. Yeah. Never ever happened. It's always been done of your own free will.
That's right.
Or volunteering, but whatever. Yeah, and that's the way the city should work. It's like, oh, well, and then they'll argue. Well, we get all this extra work and stuff like that. It's like, well, don't
be a politician. Then
be a politician. If you don't want to work hard, don't do it. Politicians, the way the system was supposed to work was the public sector was supposed to be lower pay, better benefits, and the private sector was supposed to be higher pay,
less security,
less job security.
Yeah, and then it's kind of flipped around almost.
But it's
the public is high pay and high security,
high security, high benefits.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit. I bet you could look at the budget and probably chop off 10% in salaries and stuff like that across the board, and it would save us tons of money.
Well, yeah, because, whenever people talk about budgets, it's like, well, one of the easiest ways to save money on a budget is labor.
I want to know how much Mayor Nenshi makes. I want to see his tax returns and be like, okay, show that you can't pay your $300,000, and then if you want to crowdfund it, go ahead and see if people want to help you, and then pay,
Well, no, he's already stated out now that a couple of businessmen have been willing to pay off his tab, right off the bat, and it's just like, okay, it's great. You're connected. You can have people who are willing to do something.
As long as it doesn't affect your decisions later. As long as we don't find out later that business X is getting a little bit of benefit because of this.
Yeah. Well, in which case he's being a hypocrite. Because here he is saying, "Oh, these guys are a nefarious organization trying to,"
and then he's taking money.
And then he takes money himself, and that's why he wants to crowdsource. But it's just like, you know what?
I don't know. Should you be able to crowdsource? Let us know, guys. Comments below on our YouTube channel, what you're watching on right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on all of our things, social media types. The Facebook,
YouTube,
Twitters. Don't put the S on the cool discussion, though, on Twitters, because I forgot to do that. I don't know why. Because I'm a moron at times. Other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting us blab our mouths for a little bit of your time. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
See ya.